Hey YouTube, it's Beatrice. I'm here for WeRFreEDomFighters collaboration channel. It's Recovery Tuesdays. And today's topic is, well, first of all, the theme for this week is taking responsibility for yourself, which is something that I find to be extremely important in recovering from an eating disorder. Anyways, today's topic is when to ask for help, but how to take the initiative in your own recovery. Because, asking, the phrase to ask for help, assumes that other people are going to be, helping you. And, but there are certain things that have to be done on your own. Like, as much as a family member or a friend may want to help you, sometimes they just can't with everything that's going on inside your head with the eating disorder. And that's when you need to take your own initiative in your recovery. I want to start off with kind of a personal experience I think kind of relates to this topic. And when I was 13, and that was when I had my eating disorder really, really bad. I was anorexic, severely, and I remember after my parents found out and all that other stuff, we went to go see my doctor, and at a hospital, like a eating disorder doctor, and the Christmas was coming up. That was one of the big problems, and they didn't want me to be missing Christmas, really, like with my family. And they didn't want me to be missing all, like, the December fun and everything that we have and all that stuff. And there was a lot of 8th grade celebration things going on. So they thought, for my sake or whatever, at least my parents thought this, and the doctors were kind of like either way. Like, I could either go inpatient at the hospital, or I could get my treatment outpatient at home, still going to school and everything like that, but having meal monitoring and all that other stuff. And it's kind of less intense, obviously, from a treatment, as you know. I knew that was bullshit, because they were not going to ease. My parents were going to be in charge of the meal monitoring and kind of like keeping me on track, instead of like, nurses and doctors that would be keeping me on track in the hospital. And I knew that I was not going to let my parents get me to eat. I knew there was nothing they could do, because, first of all, they're my parents. They weren't going to somehow force feed me, they just couldn't do it, because it was seriously, like, hurting me mentally to be near food. And because I was still very sick, obviously. My recovery had not even started. So I spoke up for myself. I took the initiative and knew that if I was to go home and get treatment at home, it was not going to work one bit. So I spoke up in that meeting, and I said, hold up, I need to go into inpatient. Because my parents are not going to be able to get me to eat. They won't. I'm going to put up too much of a fight, and they're not going to want to fight back. So see what I'm kind of saying here? I admitted myself into the hospital eating disorder unit. Okay? I was not going to go in until I spoke up for myself. And it was one of the smartest things I have ever done in my life. So see, right there I took initiative. And, of course, there's also the problem that when we are sick with an eating disorder, our minds are very distorted. And sometimes the initiative in recovery can be a little skewed. And that's when the help does step in. That's when the more, as I like to say, rational minds, like the doctors, a parent, an adult, a family friend, even sometimes a friend, they they have better reasoning than us at the time that we're very sick. And so they kind of hold our hand, or kind of, just kind of nudge us forward a bit. So I find it extremely important to ask for help, obviously. Whenever I get a lot of messages from YouTube viewers who watch my own videos, plus, hold that thought. Plus these videos, and they're always asking me, do I have to ask for help? Yeah, you do, okay? Because you can't do this alone. You seriously cannot do this alone. You need people to kind of be nudging you, but you do also have to have that strength inside you to take your own initiative and get better. And there are going to be those days, it's unavoidable, there are going to be those days where you're going to feel like complete shit, and, and you're not going to want to take that initiative for yourself. And that's where that help that you hired comes in. I hope I'm being clear. I kind of get this feeling I'm not being clear. It's kind of like word vomit right now. But yeah, when to ask for help is, in my opinion, you need to ask for help the moment you start getting any sort of thoughts, really, If it's so early on, talk to a friend, I kind of feel like I want to be anorexic. Talk to a friend about that. Of course, if you start to get really physically ill and very, very mentally ill, you need professional help. I'm a strong believer in professional help. They have that doctorate degree for a reason. It's not because they played tic-tac-toe in graduate school. So yeah, that's kind of like when they ask for help and taking the initiative. I can't stress how important that is. I think I can honestly say that I might not be making videos right now, or even I might not even be here if I had not taken that initiative to tell my parents and my doctors that I needed this extra step to get better. And I know I needed that, and the doctors actually understood that I definitely need that. I was on about 60 calories a day, 60. My parents were not going to get me to be eating like 1,500, up to 2,400 calories a day. No way. So that's when I kind of stepped out of my irrational mind and took the initiative for recovery. And that's taking responsibility for yourself, and it's extremely important. And I wanted to tell you guys, if you ever need help taking that step, taking the initiative for your recovery, I am more than happy to talk to you guys through either YouTube messaging, Facebook. You can text me on my phone, or IM, or anything like that. So feel free. I'm willing to help. And I think this is it for the video. Thank you for watching. Sorry if it's kind of like word vomit. I apologize. And I will talk to you all next week. Have a splendid week.